What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about C3.ai, talk on some of the data points, technicals, especially leading into their upcoming Q1 earnings. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So Friday alone was a massive day, 15.95% in the green. And this is where I really love to look at the technicals. And of course, I think we already did know that this big run was going to happen because I did do a video roughly around the early part of May, and I did say that this is one of those stocks you really need to add to your watch list because everything at the point, or at that point I guess, did indicate that this was going to explode. So again, it is what it is, but here we are right now near the 52-week high and currently looking on the fib levels between, looks like the R1 and the R2. So it kind of bounced off of mid-grade right there, but still generally speaking, it's doing very, very well. But of course, you can kind of just look at the stock price. When it comes down to it though, Stochastic is currently at 87. So this is where especially their upcoming earnings will play a very big part. If it is negative, this is where you will see a very fast correction downward because Stochastic is considered very much overbought. But looking at momentum indicator, number of retail investors are just flooding into C3.ai, which of course kind of is understandable. Based on this, the last SEC filing was the 8K and that was done on May the 18th. Outside of that though, nothing really new in reality. That would be a massive catalyst for you to go out and buy C3.ai at this stage. But regardless of that though, you do see a lot of big money getting in, and I just zoomed out so hopefully you guys can see that. Majority of the transactions on Friday alone were very much buys, and still on a daily basis it's very much a lot of big money is getting in, and these are all the transactions on the secondary market. For instance, on the dark pool, I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. So C3.ai on the dark pool is just completely on fire, massive amount of big transactions. When it comes down to the dark pool though, that is very much linked to shorting, so I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. Not necessarily because it'll be a short squeeze, but it's one of those things that's good to have it as a benchmark. So short score is currently 78, utilization is at 100%, and as far as what shorts did, I guess because with the holiday doesn't really show anything what happened on Friday, but 28.78% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be almost about 27 million shares overall being shorted. So definitely fairly high. Cost to borrow as well doesn't really show it because like I said, with the holiday being closed, it's skewing a lot of these numbers, but Interactive Brokers is currently charging around 23%. So not the highest, but it is pretty sufficient that if there is some good stuff that does come out from their upcoming earnings, it could very much prompt a squeeze, or potentially even associated to the whole debt ceiling. That might be sufficient enough for a good continuation of a rally. But over and above that though, I'll give you guys a quick overview, for instance, what did happen with options activity on Friday, just to give you a good perspective, because a lot of people are starting to hedge their bets, or at least place their bets for the upcoming earnings. But based on Friday, there was $72 million in call premiums versus 13 million in puts. So very much anticipating a continuation of upside. So again, that's a pretty positive sign if you want to consider it that way. When it comes down to options activity though, it's just merely a sentiment. It doesn't necessarily move the stock price, and this kind of chart right here does show all the expiry dates and the strike prices and everything. So with the upcoming earnings factoring in, obviously you have to factor in the June the 2nd expiry date, it does appear that a lot of people are betting around the $35 mark, as you can kind of see. But again, like I said, this is just merely a sentiment. But when it comes down to the upcoming earnings, in case you guys do not know, it is on Wednesday after hours. And when it comes down to earnings in particular though, there is several different things people or investors care about: revenue, earnings per share, and future guidance. So future guidance is going to be a big one for the whole AI sector in general. And just on a side note, while I'm on here, Morningstar, the latest Morningstar report that did come out a couple days ago does put the fair market value for C3.ai at $25.99. So just be aware that it is a little bit lower on that regard. Earnings per share though. So when it comes down to the upcoming Q1 earnings, it does look like a couple analysts did get in last minute to up their estimates. So when it comes down to it, it does look like there is a grand total of 12 estimates done by analysts, and it looks like they have a consensus of around negative 17 cents, whereas it previously was negative 18 cents. So someone clearly last minute just upped it. And similar when it comes down to revenue though, it does look like the current consensus is 71.32 million, and that is based off of 11 analysts. And similarly, like I said, someone recently did up it because it was 71.05 million for Q1. So definitely a pretty good thing in that regard. So when it comes down to it, once there is some good earnings, you might see some upgrades coming from analysts potentially. These are the latest analysts that did come down the pipeline, the 13th, 14th, and so forth. So majority of these were very much correlated to probably Palantir's. My own thoughts and interpretation of that, because I am not a financial advisor. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But no matter what though, even though the technicals do seem a little bit more overbought, if their earnings are very positive, then you will be seeing a very, very big run up. Most likely, especially based on the options, in excess of $35. But on the flip side, like I've mentioned, especially with stochastic being very much overbought, the hint of something potentially negative, mostly from their future guidance. So what they expect for the remaining part of 2023, if something is negative, this is where you are going to see a very fast and swift pullback, mostly as you can kind of see right here, to around the $23 range in reality, which might be a little bit more of a scary slip based on the technicals, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. So again, let me know you guys' thoughts on all that in the comments below. Analysts will be very much watching exactly what they do give for future guidance as well. That's definitely going to be one of those things that is either going to be the make it or break it. My own opinion, of course. So let me know you guys' thoughts on C3.ai. I am very, very happy with it because I did get in, I believe, at around $12, something like that. I cannot believe that it went down to $10.16 and people were not jumping all over this. So I'm very happy with my position. I still haven't sold because I still do believe, bigger picture, that this is going to be a very disruptive sector in the coming years. But it's just going to be a lot of volatility. So I kind of bought it, forgot about it in general, and again, it is what it is. Let me know you guys' thoughts on all this in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, even though C3.ai has been going up, sideways, whatever it is, take advantage of free promos, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments, and this is only for May, so a couple days left only. Sign up for a free account and you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so it is a complete no-brainer, no risk in reality. So definitely take advantage of this while you can. A couple days left, like I mentioned, so link in the description below and also the comments. And with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on C3.ai.